She's sitting across from you at the coffee shop, twirling her hair around her finger. The conversation has been flowing for 2 hours, punctuated by lingering eye contact and genuine laughter. Then she says something that makes your brain freeze. "We are definitely not having sex tonight." Most men hear this statement and think the evening is over. They start planning their polite exit strategy, convinced they've misread the signals. What they don't understand is that she just gave them the biggest green light in the female communication playbook. Women speak in a language that most men never learn to decode. They communicate sexual interest through phrases that sound like the opposite of sexual interest. They signal availability through statements that appear to close doors while actually opening them. They express desire through words that maintain plausible deniability while screaming their intentions. Today, I'm going to teach you the 9 verbal signals women use when they want to sleep with you. Signals that 90% of men completely miss because they don't understand the psychology behind female communication. Master this language, and you'll never again wonder whether she's interested or just being friendly. Before we dive into the 9 phrases, you need to understand the psychological framework that governs how women communicate sexual interest. Women are operating in a social environment where being too sexually forward carries significant reputation risks. They can't simply say, "I want to sleep with you tonight," without potentially damaging their image as selective high-value women. So they've developed a sophisticated communication system that accomplishes 2 goals simultaneously. It signals their sexual interest to men who understand the code, while maintaining complete plausible deniability if questioned about their intentions. It's like speaking in a secret language that only sexually intelligent men can decode. This isn't manipulation, it's social intelligence. Women need to communicate their desires while protecting their reputation and maintaining the psychological tension that makes sexual escalation exciting. The phrases you're about to learn are invitations disguised as casual conversation, green lights disguised as yellow lights, and desire disguised as innocent commentary. When a woman tells you that you're trouble, she's not warning you away from her. She's warning herself away from you, and she's excited about ignoring that warning. This phrase translates to, "You make me want to do things I don't normally do, and that scares me in the best possible way." The word trouble in female psychology represents excitement, danger, and sexual tension. She's essentially telling you that she sees you as the kind of man who could make her lose control, make her forget her usual boundaries, make her act on impulses she typically restrains. Women don't call men trouble unless they're already imagining what kind of trouble they could get into together. She's not seeing you as the safe, predictable, nice guy who follows all the rules. She's seeing you as the man who could make her break a few rules herself. This phrase is often accompanied by a specific look, a mixture of nervousness and excitement, like she's standing at the edge of a cliff and contemplating jumping. When you hear "your trouble," what she's really saying is, "I want to let go and let you take me places I don't usually go." The key to responding to this signal is leaning into the energy, rather than backing away from it. Don't try to convince her you're not trouble. Don't reassure her that you're actually a safe choice. Instead, embrace the tension. The best kind of trouble, or you have no idea, you want to escalate the excitement, not diffuse it. Scent is one of the most primal attraction triggers in human psychology. When a woman comments on how you smell, she's revealing that she's been close enough to notice, and that your natural pheromones are affecting her on a subconscious level. But here's what most men don't understand. Commenting on scent means she's already been thinking about being physically close to you. She's been imagining what it would be like to be pressed against you, to have your scent on her clothes, to wake up with that smell on her pillow. This isn't a surface-level compliment like nice shirt or cool watch. This is her brain's attraction centers lighting up, and her mouth giving voice to thoughts she's been having about physical intimacy. Women don't notice how men smell unless they're sexually interested. It's simply not on their radar otherwise. The psychology behind scent attraction runs deeper than conscious preference. When a woman is drawn to how you smell, it indicates biological compatibility and sexual chemistry at the most fundamental level. Her comment about your scent is her subconscious mind's way of saying, "I want more of this. I want to be surrounded by this." When you receive this signal, understand that you've already passed a major attraction test. She's not just complimenting your cologne choice, she's revealing that her body is responding to yours in ways that make her want to get closer. This phrase is psychological gold because it reveals that she's already made a decision about what she wants to do with you, and now she's preemptively justifying stepping outside her normal behavioural patterns. Whatever follows this statement, whether it's inviting you back to her place, suggesting you both skip work tomorrow, or proposing something more adventurous, she's already decided she wants to do it. The "I don't usually do this" disclaimer serves multiple psychological purposes. It protects her self-image as someone who doesn't make impulsive sexual decisions. It removes potential judgment from you by establishing that this is special, not standard behaviour. And it creates excitement around the idea that you're inspiring her to be different than she normally is. What she's really communicating is, "You make me want to break my own rules, and I'm excited about that." She's not asking for permission. She's already given herself permission, and now she's explaining why the situation is different, why you're different, why the normal rules don't apply. This phrase often appears when women are about to suggest something that escalates the intimacy level of your interaction. Pay attention to what follows the "but." That's what she's already decided she wants to happen. She's not thinking about it anymore, she's justifying it. The appropriate response is to make her feel good about her decision, not to question it or make her defend it further. "I like that you're spontaneous," or "sometimes the best experiences come from breaking your own rules," validates her choice while encouraging her to continue in that direction. This is one of the most obvious signals women give, yet men consistently misinterpret it. When she mentions that it's getting late but immediately follows it with how much fun she's having, she's not preparing to leave, she's giving you an opening to suggest that the fun doesn't have to end. The psychological structure of this statement is crucial. She's acknowledging the socially acceptable reason to end the interaction. It's late while simultaneously expressing her desire to continue. This is fun. She's essentially saying, "I should go, but I don't want to, and I'm hoping you'll give me a reason to stay." This phrase puts the responsibility for escalation on you while giving her complete plausible deniability. If you suggest continuing the evening and things progress sexually, she can honestly say that you were the one who suggested it. If you don't pick up on the signal and the evening ends, she can tell herself she wasn't being too forward. Women use this phrase when they're feeling attracted and hoping you'll take charge of moving things to the next level. They don't want the responsibility of directly suggesting sex, but they want you to understand that they're open to it happening. The key is recognizing this as a green light disguised as logistics. She's not giving you information about the time, she's giving you information about her availability and interest level. "The night is young," or "the fun doesn't have to stop," are responses that acknowledge her signal and move things forward. When a woman asks about your living situation or proximity, she's not making casual conversation about real estate. She's gathering intelligence about the logistics of intimate escalation. This question indicates she's already thinking about scenarios that involve private spaces and extended time together. The psychology behind this question is strategic planning, disguised as innocent curiosity. She's calculating whether it's feasible to spend more intimate time with you, whether tonight or in the near future. She's not asking because she's concerned about your commute to work. This question often appears when women are feeling strong attraction and want to know if acting on that attraction is logistically possible. It's her way of determining whether the physical chemistry she's feeling can realistically progress to physical intimacy without major complications. Sometimes this question is followed by information about her own living situation. "I live just a few minutes away," or "My roommate is out of town this weekend." When women volunteer information about their private space availability, they're painting a picture of opportunity. The sophisticated response acknowledges the subtext without being crude about it. "Close enough," or "very convenient," communicates that you understand what she's really asking while maintaining the conversational flow. This question is a direct invitation to see her as a sexual being rather than the good girl image she may project in public. Women only ask this question to men they're sexually interested in, because they only want certain men to know about their less innocent side. The psychological motivation behind this question is complex. She's testing how you perceive her, but she's also revealing that she wants you to see her differently than others do. She's essentially saying, "I have a sexual side that most people don't see, and I want you to see it." This phrase often appears when women feel like they've been too restrained or proper in their interactions with you. They want to signal that there's more depth and intensity to their personality than what you've experienced so far. It's an invitation to explore that deeper, more passionate side. When women ask this question, they're hoping you'll recognize and appreciate their sexual complexity. They want to feel seen as multidimensional beings who can be both classy in public and passionate in private. They're testing whether you can handle both sides of their personality. The appropriate response validates their complexity without making them feel judged. There's definitely more to you than meets the eye, or I had a feeling you were full of surprises. You want to encourage this revelation, not shut it down with shock or excessive enthusiasm. When a woman tells you that you're different, she's placing you in a completely separate category from other men in her experience. This isn't casual observation. It's the result of mental comparison where you've come out significantly ahead of the competition. The psychology behind this statement is powerful because it indicates that you've triggered something in her that other men haven't. You've created an emotional or physical response that stands out from her typical interactions with men. You've made an impression that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Women don't tell men they're different unless they're feeling something unusual and compelling. This phrase indicates elevated interest, genuine intrigue, and often strong sexual attraction. She's not just noticing differences, she's appreciating them in ways that make her want to explore them further. This statement often appears when women are trying to understand why they feel so drawn to you. They're processing unexpected attraction and trying to articulate what makes you special compared to their usual type or previous experiences. The key to responding is acknowledging the compliment without demanding explanation. I like being different, or different can be good. You want to own the distinction she's made rather than questioning it or downplaying it. This is perhaps the most direct signal women give while still maintaining plausible deniability. When she asks, "What now?" she's essentially handing you the steering wheel and asking you to drive the interaction to its next logical destination, which, if there's sexual tension, involves increasing intimacy. The psychological subtext of this question is, "I'm feeling attracted and turned on, and I'm hoping you'll pick up on it and make something happen." She's not actually confused about what could happen next. She's giving you permission to suggest it. This phrase appears when women feel strong chemistry, but don't want the responsibility of directly initiating sexual escalation. They want you to take charge and move things forward, but they need you to be the one who suggests it so they can maintain their image as selective rather than aggressive. Women ask this question when they're hoping the answer involves privacy, physical closeness, and the opportunity to act on the attraction they're feeling. They're not looking for suggestions about getting coffee or discussing weekend plans. The sophisticated response takes charge while escalating smoothly. "I have some ideas," or "let's go somewhere more private and find out." You want to demonstrate leadership while acknowledging the sexual tension she's referencing. This is the most counterintuitive signal on the list, and it's the one that confuses men most. When a woman explicitly states that sex is not happening, she's actually revealing that sex has been on her mind, and she's trying to manage both her own expectations and yours. The psychology behind this statement is fascinating. For her to declare that sex isn't happening, she must have been thinking about sex happening. She's not randomly bringing up sex in conversation. She's addressing sexual tension that's already present and building. This phrase serves multiple psychological functions. It protects her image as someone who doesn't have casual sex. It removes pressure from both of you to perform or meet expectations, and it paradoxically creates more sexual tension by explicitly naming what you're both thinking about. What most men don't understand is that this statement often appears when women are most likely to have sex. They're trying to convince themselves as much as you that they should maintain boundaries, but the fact that they're discussing those boundaries indicates they're already considering crossing them. The key insight is that this isn't actually a boundary, it's a disclaimer. She's not telling you sex won't happen, she's telling you that if it does happen, it wasn't planned or calculated. She's preserving her ability to act spontaneously while maintaining her self-image. The appropriate response is calm acknowledgement without argument. "Of course not," or "I wouldn't assume otherwise." You want to remove pressure while maintaining the sexual tension that prompted her statement. Often, when women feel comfortable that you're not pressuring them, they become more open to physical escalation. Understanding these signals requires recognizing that women often communicate in opposites when it comes to sexual interest. They say they should leave when they want to stay. They declare their innocence when they want you to see their wild side. They announce what won't happen when they're considering making it happen. This isn't deception. It's sophisticated communication that accomplishes multiple goals simultaneously. It allows them to express interest while maintaining plausible deniability. It creates sexual tension while protecting their reputation. It invites escalation while avoiding direct responsibility for initiation. Men who learn to decode this communication style find themselves in a completely different category of male. They become the men who get it, who understand the subtext, who can respond appropriately to female interest signals. This understanding transforms their entire dating experience. Knowing how to recognize these signals is only half the equation. The other half is knowing how to respond in ways that escalate attraction rather than killing it. Each signal requires a specific type of response that acknowledges the subtext while maintaining the conversational flow. The key is calibrated escalation, responding with slightly more intensity than she's expressing while staying within her comfort zone. You want to match her energy and then elevate it gradually, not dramatically. When she says you're trouble, you lean into being trouble. When she comments on your scent, you move closer. When she asks what's next, you take charge of what's next. When she declares no sex will happen, you remove pressure while maintaining proximity. Women give these signals because they want men who are confident enough to recognize and act on them. They're testing your social intelligence, your sexual awareness, and your ability to lead interactions toward increased intimacy. Men who miss these signals appear socially unaware and sexually inexperienced to women. Men who recognize but fail to act on these signals appear weak or uninterested. Only men who both recognize and appropriately escalate these signals demonstrate the confidence that women find irresistibly attractive. This confidence isn't about being aggressive or pushy. It's about understanding female psychology well enough to respond appropriately to their communication style. It's about being comfortable with sexual tension rather than afraid of it. Start paying attention to these phrases in your interactions with women. Notice how often you hear them and how you typically respond. Begin calibrating your responses to acknowledge the subtext rather than just the surface meaning. Practice comfortable escalation. When you recognize these signals, respond with slightly increased intimacy. Move closer, touch appropriately, suggest privacy, or acknowledge the sexual tension she's creating. Remember that these signals appear when women are already interested. Your job isn't to create attraction from nothing. It's to recognize when attraction exists and respond appropriately to move things forward. Most importantly, understand that women want you to succeed in reading these signals. They're not trying to confuse you. They're trying to communicate interest in a way that protects them socially while giving you clear direction. Men who master this communication style gain enormous advantages in dating and relationships. They stop missing opportunities with interested women. They stop wasting time with uninterested women. They become the men that women feel comfortable being sexual with, because they demonstrate understanding of female psychology. This isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about becoming fluent in the language women use to communicate sexual interest. It's about developing the social intelligence that allows you to connect with women on the level they're actually operating on. Women respect and are attracted to men who understand them well enough to read their signals correctly. This understanding creates trust, builds attraction, and leads to the kind of passionate connections that both parties remember fondly. Understanding these 9 signals transforms your entire approach to female interaction. You stop guessing about interest levels and start recognizing clear communication. You stop missing opportunities and start capitalizing on invitations. You stop being confused by female behavior and start appreciating the sophisticated intelligence behind it. If this breakdown of female communication has opened your eyes to signals you've been missing, subscribe to this channel for more insights into the psychology that governs attraction and dating. Hit that notification bell, because understanding female communication could be the difference between going home alone and going home together. The women worth being with are already giving you signals. Make sure you're sophisticated enough to receive them.